If you've ever wondered if it's possible to achieve that effortless, radiant, glowy makeup look, but with clean, skin-loving ingredients, well, today we are diving into the world of RMS Beauty. This is a brand that's really known to be redefining the no makeup look, that minimalist makeup vibe that's all the rage right now. A little more than minimalist, but it's still very clean and fresh, but it's doing it with products that you can actually feel good about in terms of the ingredients. So I've got a full face of products to test here, and we're gonna do what we always do in these videos. We're gonna read reviews, we're gonna read what the product claims to do, we're gonna test out those claims, we're gonna watch reels, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Let's get into it. So I have two foundations that we are gonna look into, okay? I have the RMS ReEvolve Natural Finish Foundation. That's more of a liquid formula. And then I have this guy as well. This is the RMS Beauty Uncoverup Cream Foundation. So let's do this on this side and this on this side. We can kind of compare the textural differences between both of them. Wow, so this texture is quite different than what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be very sheer coverage. I don't know why. I think I just made that up in my head. Let's see what they say about this. Okay, so this is skincare infused, natural finish with a medium coverage. Okay, so it is not a sheer coverage formula.
Foundation is next. Okay, I am in between my lighter winter color and my warmer summer color. So I'm gonna mix two. I love having both of these because I can just buy the refill and pop it in the fridge, keep it, and pop it in when I need it. So I'm gonna take these two colors that I have. It's the 33.5 and the 22. I'm gonna mix it slightly with my finger, and then I'm gonna use my wet sponge. I love these non-latex sponges. And I'm gonna pop this on. And you're gonna see it's a beautiful color. Now I'm gonna do this fast, you guys. We're not doing a Vogue cover. So I just want to show you the coverage from this, how easy that is. Now, if you want, I like to use a wet sponge just because I get more of a sheer deposit.
Isn't she awesome? So that is the founder. That's Rosemary Swift. And for those of you guys who don't know who Rosemary Swift is, let me just paint the picture for you because she's actually a pretty big deal. She is a really prominent makeup artist. She's worked with some of the most prestigious models, the most prestigious actors, the best photographers, the best magazines in the fashion and beauty world today. She's been featured in Vogue in French, Italian, American, Japan, China, W, Harper's Bazaar, Allure, Glamour, and she's done ads for Saint Laurent, Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren, Louis Vuitton, but she's really known to do the Victoria's Secret models. And she talks about that in her reels quite a bit. I highly recommend you guys follow RMS Beauty on Instagram. I love their reels. She's so casual and just very, very natural on camera. It's totally not scripted, you know? It's kind of a nice vibe to watch her. And she talks about the work she does with the Victoria's Secret models and the products she used and that kind of stuff. And I just love that. So I'll tell you a little bit about the origin story of RMS Beauty in a minute, but let's just talk a little bit about this foundation. So I really do like it. It has actually a very nice coverage. It's not too glowy. It does have a natural finish. It's very spreadable and easy to work with. I actually really like it. So let's read some reviews. Let's see what people have to say about it. So there are some 5-star reviews. I love how it looks on my skin. It provides just enough hydration and coverage and lasts well when applying with a primer. My favorite. Only problem is that the pump may not work when it reaches the end. I can see that. I could see that. It's actually a little bit, I could see actually the pump being a bit problematic, although I really like the way that it turns up. Oh, I see how this works. So you can refill this. So you can actually buy a refill. That is so cool. And that's for plastic package savings of 67%. It says that directly on here. So when you buy a new foundation, you actually buy the refill. Oh my God, this just got so much better. How did I not know this? This is another thing with this brand. It's all about sustainability. They're really big on clean ingredients and sustainability, and I think that's amazing. So the full size is 74 Canadian. The refill is 61. That's a good savings. I just talked about the Dyson. Remember how you can do that with the new Dyson Kaizen, but it's only $5 off. This is a pretty damn good savings. Wow, that's awesome. They're winning me over. That's awesome. We did have some bad reviews though. Like there was 1 star, too chalky looking, didn't like the smell. That's interesting because I find it fragrance free. I don't find that it has any smell. And then this buyer says, not what I was expecting. For me, it was way too thick, not natural on my skin at all. I did not like it. I could see why she would say that. It's just because it is a medium coverage. She probably went in thinking that RMS was very like minimalist, very like easy, like Jones Road vibe, you know, like the What The foundation where it's really kind of invisible on the skin, just creates some glow. That's not what this is. This is definitely full coverage. Let's test it against this guy. So the Uncoverup Cream Foundation. So this has a pretty different formula. I've actually tried this once before. Look, you can see that it has a high viscosity. See how it doesn't drip? So higher viscosity products tend to be a little bit thicker on the skin. So this is a flawless natural finish. Also has skincare ingredients in it. That's a big selling feature of this brand. It's luminous. Okay, so this isn't gonna be great for my oily skin. We can already tell that. And this is actually medium to full coverage. So it smooths and nourishes and blurs imperfection. I could see it definitely being medium to full because of the density of it. Upon first impression, this reminds me a lot of stage makeup. Like when I was working in film and TV and even doing some theater, this reminds me a lot of that hardcore stage makeup that everyone has in their kit. We all have these palettes of cream foundations in all of the colors in our kits. And it's really good for the stage, you know, but it's not really my favorite formula to wear. They're very, very different. This has a natural skin-like finish. This has a luminous finish. This is much more full coverage than this. This feels more comfortable. This definitely feels much, much heavier and a lot glowier. Let's see what people are saying about it. Okay, I'm not hating on it. It's just not the right product for me, for sure. But let's see what other people are saying about it. Really lovely foundation, doesn't feel heavy. A little goes a long way. I love this foundation, have purchased this in the past. It goes on smoothly and lasts a very long time. The color was beautiful, but dries down and looks very patchy, shows all my texture. Interesting, because you would think it doesn't, honestly. It's got a lot of oil in it. The application is terrible. I tried to apply it, it wouldn't even move across my skin. It was extremely dry. Yeah, that's because this is literally like this is just like theater makeup. I know this formula so well. This is a formula that advanced makeup artists often have in their, I mean, we all have this in our kit for full coverage kind of stage needs. I could see why Rosemary Swift was attracted to make a formula like this. This is such a makeup artist kit formula. It just takes finessing. So if you're not like a makeup wearer, you're not gonna use a damp beauty blender, you're not gonna dampen your sponge, you're not gonna warm up the product in the back of the hand, I could see it being difficult to learn to apply. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you don't have the skills, I could see it not being the first formula you reach for, in which case go for this. If you want an RMS foundation, you want something effortless and simple and easy to use, go for this one. This one's way easier to use than this one, even though this one is more full coverage and more luminous. Okay, let's move on to concealer. So I'm using the Uncoverup concealer. I love these little glass containers, by the way. I love the packaging so much. So this is a multitasking concealer, buildable coverage, brightens, moisturizes, and is non-comedogenic.
I use 33.5. All the 0.5s have a little hint of peach in it. And what the peach does, it counteracts the blue hue that we have under our eyes. As we get older, our skin thins a little bit. And I'm just painting in exactly where that little discoloration is, because you don't want to put it right across. You guys have heard me say that so many times. I always say easy, easy, easy on the amount. Don't go over your cheekbones, because you want your cheekbones really clean, because if you've got a lot of makeup there and you've got everything gobbed on, what's going to happen is it's going to look dry and old. So you want to keep as little on that area and just highlight it with a luminizer or something like one of my great other products. And just get these little bits that, you know, a little bit in the nose. Voila. Perfect. Done.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not 100% sure I know how I feel about this concealer. It's not brightening. I don't want to be influenced by other people's opinions, but I want to know what people think. Yeah, I really wish this works for me, as I love other RMS products, but this did nothing, and I mean literally nothing for me. It didn't look like I had anything on at all. Doesn't conceal under eye circles. I wanted to love this concealer, but it doesn't conceal my under eye circles. It does settle into under eye lines, so I'm back to using my old concealer. I agree with this. It settles, look, come zoom in. It's only been a second and look at how much that has settled. And even here, that has settled a lot in those lines. And I am in my 30s. I'm in my late 30s, but in my 30s nonetheless. So that kind of scares me a little bit because I obviously have texture and lines under my eyes. It's a concern of mine for sure, but I don't have as many lines and texture as someone who's 60. So I would be worried that this would crease like crazy, and I don't find that it covers darkness almost at all. I'm not a fan of this concealer at all. This is a big, big miss for me. Okay, let's move on to eyes. But before we do that, I want to tell you a little bit about the origin story of RMS. So I have some notes here because I don't want to mess it up. So this was founded in 2009 by Rosemarie Swift, who I am in love with. I just love her so much. I adore her. And the reason she founded it is because she had a personal health scare. Okay, she was going through a lot of health issues. And it was during this time that she discovered that she had high levels of toxic chemicals in her system, many of which were actually and are actually found in traditional cosmetics. So she was really shocked by this. You know, trying to navigate health issues is no joke. And considering she's a makeup artist and she is, you know, immersed in beauty products all day, every day, that was very scary for her. And that's when she became inspired to create her own makeup line that doesn't have these ingredients. So it says here, that's when she set out to create a line of clean, non-toxic makeup that would nourish and enhance skin without compromising health. Combining her professional knowledge of makeup with a commitment to pure, minimally processed ingredients, Switch launched RMS Beauty to offer high performance products that prioritize both beauty and wellness. Today, the brand is celebrated for pioneering the clean beauty movement and delivering radiant, skin-friendly products that have become favorites among celebrity and beauty enthusiasts alike. I'm not gonna lie, I have very mixed feelings about the clean beauty movement. I think a lot of it is not based in science. I have a very scientific background, and so I'm very critical. I'm very critical of the clean beauty movement in general. But with that said, you know, we're not gonna get into that in this video. We're just gonna get into the performance of these products and whether or not we like them. But I know a lot of you guys are very concerned with clean beauty and chemicals and all this stuff in your products. So this is one of those product lines that really omits a lot of those chemicals that some people don't like exposing themselves to. Okay, let's do, oh my goodness, look at this. We just spilled everywhere. Let's do Eyelights. Oh my gosh, I just wasted so much product. So this is crease proof, which is a very bold claim for a cream shadow. We're gonna see if that's true. It smooths and firms the eyelid area. It's buildable, long-lasting all-day wear, nourishes and shines, luminous, light reflective finish in 11 shades. Now, this is the thing that I was most intrigued by. I think this looks so beautiful online. Now, normally when I do a cream shadow, I would always prep my lids, powder it down, all of the things, right? So that my natural oils don't break down the product. But Rosemarie Swift actually said in a reel not to do that because she says, you know, don't put this on top of powder. Don't put this on top of anything else because it will just dry it out. So you want to put this directly on the skin, and because it's opaque, it will cover up any discoloration that you have on your lid. So I'm just going to take her advice and do exactly what she said to do. I gotta say, it is quite opaque. My goodness, it is quite opaque. So let's just take a little brush to blend, soften that out. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. You guys, if this like actually doesn't crease, I'm gonna have to get this in every single color. Look how beautiful that is. Oh, that is gorgeous. Holy smokes, gorgeous.
I'm just gonna take a little bit with my finger again. I love using my fingers. I'm gonna pop a little just in the center. And a lot of people go, oh my God, it's shimmery. It's not gonna look good on me. Well, let me tell you, this is not shimmery. It's luminous. There's a big difference between shimmer and luminous. Shimmer means there's little particles in it, and those particles on old skin are not gonna look good. This, because of the ingredients, smooths out the eye, and this does not crease, so this will stay. This is a beautiful, beautiful shadow, and this one is called Strobe. It's my favorite. It dries fast, but once this is dry, it's gonna stay all day without creasing, and it also doesn't flake. I personally love it when you just have a little bit on the eyelid. There's 5 colors to use. So you've always got a color you get. Oh, and we're coming out with some more. We're at 6. Sorry, 6. And I think we're coming out with a few more, so you're gonna be very, very happy, but I love these.
She's right, she's right. It dries down quick. So you have to kind of put it on with your fingertips, pat it in the lid, and then quickly blend out that crease, and you are golden.
I'm using the new RMS Cream Eyeshadow, and I'm using Sunbeam, and I'm placing it on my lid and blending it with my finger. I'm using the RMS Beauty 20E brush to blend out any harsh edges. Fill this look with the shade Flare, and I'm going to place it onto the lash line of my eyes and give me a little bit more drama and dimension. And this can be a beautiful night look. You can wear it for a date night, and I love it because it has organic green tea extract. It has natural peptides, quinoa extract. Love that it lasts all day. There's no fallout or it does not crease.
How could anyone have anything bad to say about this? I am gonna guess that people are not gonna like that this dries down quick. This is one of those products you have to put on, blend, and away you go. There's not much working time, which I actually don't mind at all, especially if that means it's not gonna crease. It goes on super smooth and beautiful, right? But you gotta like apply it, have your brush ready, blend it out, and that's it. So let's see what the bad review says. Beautiful and horrible to apply. Beautiful and horrible to apply. The Creamiest cream doesn't apply consistently or well at all. It's pretty consistent. Dries too fast, too thick, too shiny. I don't think it's too shiny, not gonna lie. But I'll give it to you that it does dry fast. And then the only thing that I don't like is my tube keeps, look, I'm losing so much product because of the tube. So I don't love that. Oh, I need more concealer so badly. The lack of concealer is literally killing me. But okay, let's move on to liner. Let's move on to liner. So this is a gorgeous, gorgeous color. This is the straight Line Kohl eyeliner. It's in the color Bronze Definition. I love these bronzy liners. I find them just so easy to wear. So this has clean, rich color, smooth application, Kohl Eye Pencil, and ophthalmologist tested. So you know what else I learned about Rosemary Swift when I was doing all the research for this video? I actually learned that she's Canadian, like me. There's not many of us, I find, in this industry that are Canadian. She isn't from Vancouver, so I mean, she's so far from me, she might as well be in a different country. I'm from Ontario, but still, it's so funny because when I started watching her tutorials, I immediately fell in love with her. I just felt so close to her. It's so strange. And I think maybe because she's so charismatic and warm on camera, she really is so warm. It really makes you feel like you know her. Then I'm like, oh my gosh, is it because she's a Canadian sister? You know, she feels familiar because Canadians interact in a Canadian way. You know what I mean? Just like all cultures have their thing. I don't know if I just like deeply adore her because she feels familiar. It's so funny. Let's just put on some mascara. I'm sorry guys, I don't have the RMS mascara. Does RMS even have a mascara? Oh, it totally does. A straight up volumizing peptide mascara. I don't have that. So I'm just gonna use one of my mascaras, okay? Okay, bronzer. Look at how beautiful this bronzer is. This bronzer looks so pretty. I picked the color Tan Lines. Let's see what she's saying about it.
All right, so this is Bikini Beach. I'm lying out there in the sun with a desire to have a beautiful tan. All right, so I'm gonna take my brush and I'm gonna just very casually go onto this. Build up slowly so we don't have too much. And we are now seeing some color happening here. And I'm gonna do the other side. So you guys can see there's that beautiful bronze eye. That looks like a sun-kissed tan. I will also take it over the eye for that little bit of added pizzazz. I will take a little bit of my concealer and I will just go in there and just blend it out in case I do too much. You guys are noticing, or at least I hope you're noticing I'm not going like that. I don't know a tan that goes like that. A tan goes across the face like this. It goes over the nose, just to give that beautiful, look at it, just perked up my eyes.
Oops, that's what I did.
Ooh.
Okay, I'll go across the nose.
Neck. Blush, I'm gonna take my favorite color, Gear Royale, and take a hint of this. I'm just gonna use my everything brush for this because I just want a little bit of color right over that tan, just to give that little fresh hint of. What do you think?
Glowy bronzers, and they're actually better than the Charlotte Tilbury ones. I'm using the shade Tan Lines, and I found that I really had to do this a few times to get the powder going. It doesn't look glittery on the forehead, which I really appreciate because I love to put a bunch of bronzer on my forehead. It's shimmery, but not glittery.
Put that bronzer in the crease. Put that bronzer here. Look, that blends the eyelights so beautifully. This bronzer looks very shimmery in the pan, and I know that might scare some people, but it doesn't come off shimmery on the skin. It's luminous, it's got like a luminosity to it, but not a shimmer. So don't be afraid, okay? Don't be afraid of this bronzer, it's beautiful. This is actually very nice. This is one of my favorite products so far, along with the Eyelights for sure. Okay, before we move on to blush and Luminizer, I'm sure you're dying to hear about the Luminizer because that's one of the viral products. I have to go in with another brand of concealer. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Because I can't do it after I use blush and I need to brighten it. I really need you guys to see what a difference this is gonna make. So I'll just show you on one eye, okay? All makeup artists have really different styles, right? And I think Rosemary Swift and I have a pretty different style. She's got that really natural, fresh, luminous style, and my style is much more high glam. You know, especially as a working artist, people come to me for high glam weddings, high glam editorials. You know, I don't really often do super natural, super glowy. That's not really my look. I've been doing it a lot on the channel because I know you guys like it, but I am not overly light-handed when it comes to most looks that I do. So sometimes products that are very light-handed products, you know, they don't read strong on the skin. I just feel like it's just not enough. So even now, even before setting, can you guys see the difference here between a concealer that I would do versus, like, do you see how much natural shadow there is in depth here? Whereas this feels much more snatched and lifted. This is just more of the formulation that I am comfortable with. But I'm not hating on the products. I'm just aware that I am not exactly the target consumer for these products. You know, I am attracted to makeup that's more makeup-y, but that's just me. If you're not, that's okay. You have to do what works for you. I have so many friends, most of my friends hardly wear any makeup, and they would love this. They would love a concealer that they can pop on, that's not too hard to blend. Whereas for me, like, I want the makeup to be almost like a sculpting tool more than just a subtle enhancement tool. Now let's move on to blush. This is the Redimension Hydra Powder Blush in the color Mai Tai. This is a buildable blush, doubles as a skin-loving glowy highlighter. It's talc-free, nourishes, and lasts all day. This is beautiful. There's not much more to say other than that. It's luminous without being sparkly. It has just enough color payoff that it goes on really well, but it's not too harsh. You know, like, you know what blush goes on way too harsh? Oh, what's the name of that brand? What's the name of that brand? Rephr Beauty. That's it, Rephr Beauty. The Rephr Beauty liquid blushes go on way too harsh. They're like not, I don't know. I don't like them very much. It just goes on so harsh. It's so hard to blend. This is just like the right amount of pigment. Obviously this is a powder, that is a liquid, but it's beautiful. Wow, it's so pretty. I love this. I think this is one of my favorite blushes that I own. I know I always say that when I try new things, I get so excited, but for real, I actually love this. So if I love this so much, let's try the Luminizer. The Luminizer gets so much love on social media. It's been sold out like a billion times. So this is Luminous Radiant Finish Dewy Glow, nourishing and hydrating. It's a multitasking highlighter. I have a lot of products like this already, so I was not very tempted to buy this because I have so many products like this. Chanel Balm Essential is a product like this. Jane Iredale has a bunch of their stick luminizers also. Every product kind of has this kind of liquid luminizer, so I didn't know if this would be any different, but the difference between this one and the Chanel one is that Chanel is very sticky. This is not sticky. Wow, look at that. That is really nice. Holy, it creates that like perfect cheekbone glow. I just have to know. I have to know what she has to say about this.
Is my, I guess you could call it my OG. This is the one that put me on the map. This is the one that made me kind of famous, so to speak. For years, I worked with Victoria's Secret. Those girls are drop dead gorgeous. They're freaks of nature. They're so beautiful. I wanted to put a glow on their face. It was not a highlighter and not a illuminator. I said, no, I wanted to be called Living Luminizer. And people said, well, there's no such word as luminizer. And I said, well, there is now. And I created the word living luminizer. And what it is meant to do, it's meant to reflect light. It's to make the skin look really dewy and moist. And I like to use the word succulent. You know what I mean by that. But what this product was made for is to do a glow on the cheekbone. Can you see that? That is what makes you look young. You turn and you get this beautiful glow, and people will always say, oh my God, your skin looks beautiful. They're not gonna go, oh my God, your makeup looks amazing. They're gonna go, your skin looks beautiful. That's what you wanna hear. I've always had my little glass pot with the little lid. I love that. People say, oh, can you put it in a tube? Hell no, I'm not gonna put it in a stick or a tube. No. You want to have control. You want to use your finger and you want to pop it where you need it. And there's so many nice places to put it. You can also put it on the brow bone. I love to pop it in there. It's a little dot right in the center of the lid. That. Then also you can pop it a little bit onto the bow of the lips to accent again fuller lips and more poutier mouth. This is a winner. This is a star product. Tested on angels, Victoria's Secret angels. It's a good one.
That is so pretty. Holy smokes. I love that. And it doesn't look greasy like an oil slick. It just looks like super healthy skin. How could anyone say anything bad about that? There are people that say it. It's nothing extra. I have other products that are much better illuminators, and there's not a lot of product for the money. I definitely would not buy again. I feel like it was a waste of money. And then this person, sorry, but it has a texture of paste. I was expecting something creamy and light to apply. Texture of paste? No, it's nice. It does have the texture of paste, but it works. I mean, come on, guys. How could it be better than this? Give me a break. There are lots of good reviews, of course, right? I love this product. It has just the right amount of glam with its luminosity. Highly recommend. I highly recommend. Yes, Paula, I also highly recommend. I also highly recommend. Okay, lip lights. This is very different. I haven't seen a product on the market like a tubey product like this. So let's read what this does. This is a hydrate, 24-hour repair, volumize, shine, multitasking, do it all gloss. Okay, so the color that I have is Bisou. So it's just a tubey lip gloss. It has a balmy texture though. So it's not gloss, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's nice. It feels hydrating. I'm not obsessed. Okay, this one is just not something I would run to buy, and I desperately need lip liner. So while I add lip liner, let's watch Rosemary talk about this product.
Everybody says, oh my God, red lipstick, I can't wear a red lip. Let me tell you something, you can if it's the right red lip. We have so many red lip colors. We've got the RMS red, we've got the Rebound, which is a beautiful true red with a hint of blue in it, but it's really beautiful. We also have softer ones like Beloved, which is a lip cheek. We also have our red Crimson, which is a very, very sheer orangey red. Orangey red tends to be a little bit more favorable to most skin tones. So the orangey red lip balm is called Crimson. It's very simple to use. It nourishes, it moisturizes. It just adds that subtle little hint of red without being a red lip like what I have on. Oh, and we also have our Babette lip light. And this is a little orangey based red. I'm gonna pop a little bit on top. I'm gonna press from the bottom. This is a aluminum tube. It's not gonna come out just magically. This is not a thin, watery product. It is actually thick, so you have to work a little bit on the bottom, pushing it up, and then you're gonna just hit that top part here, and it's gonna come out. Oh, there we go, there it comes. I'm just gonna pop it on. It is thick, and look at that. A little bit more on the top. Now, when I put on lip gloss, I'm gonna tell you, don't take it out to the end. Keep it in the center of the mouth. That's where it's the most luscious and luxurious and sexy. You don't need to go out near where the line is. You got your red lipstick, it matches, you're fine. Look at that, can you see? That's a new mouth.
Oh my God, the love that I have for this woman. I love her so much. You guys, when I'm in my 60s, I better be exactly like her. I better have my own makeup brand and I wanna be exactly like her. Maybe I spoke too soon. After I put the lip liner on, it is very pretty. I'm so tempted to put on some lashes. I just want all the glam. I'm feeling so many glam feelings lately. So this is by Kiss. This is called the New Natural Effortless Minimal Look. This one's called Pearl Earring. It's a really natural lash. Let's just pop it on to see. Just need the extra drama in my life today, even though this is like totally not on brand for RMS. I do have to admit that this is the type of makeup that makes you feel very pretty. You know, the colors are very pretty. The textures are very pretty. The way it sits on the skin is very pretty. If I didn't know the history of RMS or that Rosemary Swift worked for Victoria's Secret and that she worked with the most beautiful women in the world, making them look the most beautiful they could look. If I didn't know any of that, if someone told me, it would all make sense because this type of product line, this type of texture, this type of color story, it all makes sense. It's for like the pretty girl, you know? And I'm sure you're thinking like, Gabby, what are you talking about? All makeup is like that. It's not. If you look at MAC, for example, they're very much like an artistry brand for the creative person, for the artistic person. That's why they have lime greens and hot pinks and vibrant pigments and all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Whereas this, it's that pretty, soft, natural, but not even totally natural. Like these eyes are not natural, but it gives like cool girl. It gives like Victoria's Secret girl, blowout girl, you know? It gives that girl. I know that it sounds crazy. How can products give that feeling? But it does. That's what these products give. It gives that girl. It gives that girl. Overall, with the exception of the concealer, which I didn't like at all. Like I will never use this. This is not even a product I would reach for at all. I would reach for these products on a day-to-day basis. So that's that. That's how I feel about it. I'm gonna check in with you in 8 hours to see how it breaks down throughout the day. But so far, I mean, so good.
A few moments later.
This is how my face looks in studio lighting. And this is how my face looks in natural lighting. This is how my makeup looks 8 hours later without any touch-ups. So it's pretty apparent that your girl is shiny because I have very oily skin, and products like these, products with these types of textures, they don't work for people with extremely oily skin if you're not heavily setting with powder. And in these videos, I don't like using a lot of powder because I think if I use the powder, we don't really know what the product does on its own, you know? Is it a result of the powder or is it a result of the product? So I really like to let you guys see what the product does independently without being influenced by anything else. So obviously I'm gonna be shiny because I'm I'm a shiny girl. If I wear absolutely no makeup, I'm still very shiny after 8 hours. That's just how it is. But I have to say, even despite being very shiny in here, I really do feel like my skin looks beautiful. I think that this actually looks really, really beautiful. The luminescence from the blush mixed with the luminizer, I still think is extraordinary. I think it's beautiful. Those are star products for sure. The bronzer, the blush, and the Living Luminizer are phenomenal. When it comes to the eyes, I haven't even looked. Okay, so I am a little creasy. You can especially see it here, but it's not bad. It's nothing like how bad the Merit Solo Shadow creased. Remember that? That was a disaster. This is just a little bit, and I think the only reason I'm even creasy is because I didn't add a little bit of powder underneath. Remember I said that Rosemary Swift said to not add powder, but I'm sure she also doesn't have crazy oily skin like I do. Like I need powder. But you know what's really crazy and unexpected? I don't actually find that there's much of a difference from this side. If you guys remember, we did the cream foundation on this side and we did the liquid foundation on this side. I actually don't feel like there's much of a difference in the wear. They look quite similar to me. Do you guys see a difference? Let me know in the comments if you see a difference between the two sides. Overall, when it comes to RMS Beauty, I gotta say, I am a fan. I'm a huge fan of the creator, as I'm sure you can tell by now. I think she's awesome. I'm also a huge fan of their commitment to sustainability. I think that is so cool and so amazing and extremely important in today's day and age. I'm also a fan of this like fresh, easy to achieve look. I'm a huge fan of their textures and the whole Victoria's Secret, very luminescent, fresh vibe. Everything about this to me is awesome. If you've made it this far, I want you to leave me a big emoji in the comment section below because that tells me that you and I were part of the glam fam. And it's also really funny for me when I get dozens of comments that say like, why the heck are there pig emojis all over the comment section? This video's over.